Aaron Rodgers has decided. Aaron Rodgers has decided he will be speaking in just a few minutes, telling us what he's decided to do. Is he coming back to play football again? And if he is, and we all know he is, and if he is, we all know where he is playing football. He's going to announce it right now. Join me, hang with me, react with me. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
The time has come. Aaron Rodgers will be reacting live. He will be reacting live and deciding what he's going to do right this very second, okay? So we're counting down the minutes before Aaron Rodgers joins Pat McAfee, and we're going to be discussing it here on the channel. So file on in, hit that thumb up button. The phone lines will be open shortly. I don't know that I'm going to open the phone lines while everybody is in the, while this is being announced. So hang tight. We'll open the phone lines as soon as the announcement happens and we can discuss it. But right now, unless somebody wants to dial in very quickly, like 10 seconds per call. If you want to dial in 10 seconds per call, 10 to 20 seconds a floor, and then I'm just going to hang up on you. You want to do that? The phone lines are open right now. I'll make sure I have the phone line in front of me this time. So dial in, but I fully expect we are going to hear that Aaron Rodgers is returning and returning to the New York Jets, and that trade is in motion. Could he shock the world? I suppose. Could Aaron Rodgers say, I am stepping away from the game and going to enjoy my life and go to the beach, learn to surf, play golf, open a meditation club? I don't know. It's certainly possible. And then guess what happens? We freak out for a minute. We get upset, but then we focus on Lamar Jackson as the next as the next quarterback to land for this New York Jet football team because they need it. They put all their eggs in one basket. Look, we've heard it's done. Trey Wingo right here told us a while ago that it was done. And I believe what he says. I believe what he says because he's had a line on this before Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and both of them are so bothered by people stepping into their lane. You can read it all over Rappaport's face. He's frustrated. And then when he found out Pat McAfee was going to be breaking the news and not him, he was even more frustrated. Pat's his guy. He likes him, but he is very, very frustrated that he cannot break this news. He no longer has all the control of the breaking news world. And that pisses off, I think, Rappaport and Schefter, in my opinion, based on my observations, using my skills in psychology that I accumulated and cultivated over the course of my entire life. And this is going to be one interesting thing to watch unveil. So I'm super excited to have you all here. Let me go ahead and click on this real quick. The phone lines are open. Dial in, unless you're Flounder. Dial in. I don't know if we have time for a Flounder call right now, just to be completely honest with you. I don't know that that's something I can navigate while we wait for Aaron Rodgers news. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday is what I'm talking about. Dial into the show. Man, guys, I'm so pumped about this Aaron Rodgers situation. I can't wait till we finally know Garrett Wilson's taken care of. I can't wait till we finally know that Breece Hall's taken care of. Garrett Wilson's going to be a top 5 wide receiver in the hands of Aaron Rodgers. This is a magnificent day. This is a day that Garrett Wilson, who is a moon man, I might add.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
This is a day when Garrett Wilson, who is a Mars man, I might add.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
These are two players. Let me put this highlight over Garrett Wilson.
Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
We talk about him. We got to respect him here. Garrett Wilson, top 4 to 5 wide receiver in 2023 under the command and tutelage of Aaron Rodgers, who elevates the game of anybody around him. He turned Christian Watson into an absolute monster his rookie year. Even in an up and down rookie year, he just turned him into a beast. And now we're sitting here. Let's get Jimmy G off our screen. Now we're sitting here with two quarterbacks right here. The only two options for a team like the Jets that are potentially Super Bowl bound. They truly are potentially Super Bowl bound. And we await. We sit and we wait. We sit and we wait for the news to break. We've got 50 seconds left, and then we should know. We should know. Hang tight, hang tight. 50 seconds left. 40 seconds left. We're going to know very soon. Again, if anybody wants to call in for a 10-second call, feel free to dial in real quickly, but you have to dial fast. Your boy Smitty's not messing around. We're going to be in and out of these phone calls. Breece Hall, we need this for Breece Hall as much as we need it for Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's going to be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver no matter what happens, but Breece Hall is needing room to run. He needs open rushing lanes like you can't believe, coming off this ACL tear. So this is big news. Okay, here we go. All right, phone lines, you can dial in real quickly. Here it is. Your boy's waiting. What's up, Ron Navy? Appreciate you here. Appreciate you all being here. This is the moment we've been waiting for. 106 of you in here. Please punch that thumb up button. We need those 31 thumbs up to match that 103. Those are rookie numbers. Here we go. Jets, Jets, baby. Jets, Jets. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers Wednesday. It's here. I'm here for it. You're here for it. We've been waiting for a very long time for this. Here it is. Oh, God. There wouldn't be first of all, there wouldn't be this kind of hype if Aaron Rodgers was stepping away from the game. I don't see how. If anybody feels differently, drop it in the chat. I don't see how there could be any potential I'm stepping away. I'm no longer going to be playing the game of football anymore. I just don't see. How. It doesn't seem possible, feasible. It's not in the realm of possibility for me. I just don't see it. Okay. There we go. Aaron Rodgers. Here we go. Here he comes. You know they're going to get right to it, so we're going to know right away. What are you guys saying here? Love your show, Smitty. Thank you, Detest. I have it on my phone as well. Going back to Green Bay, someone says, well, does he have some... Look, wouldn't that be crazy if he came in and just said, I don't know yet what I want to do. Garrett Wilson to the moon, people. Garrett Wilson to the moon if this happens. We're waiting for it. Smitty, you got another platform I want to hype you. The Bruce says, if you go to another platform, I want the same hype for you. Oh, okay. Here's Aaron Rodgers. Here he is. He's got a stain on his shirt. What's he got the spilled? He's got like a stain right there. A-Rod, what are you doing? Tell us. He got this spill on his shirt. You know, I don't know if I can put it on screen. Here's a spill on his shirt. What's he doing with his shirt? This is what his shirt looks like right now. He's making the announcement. He's got this spill on his shirt. He says the darkness gave him a lot of time to contemplate. Okay. Aaron, spit it out. What's he going to say? This is a very, very anticipated announcement. We've never been on the edge of our seat for something so, I believe, obvious in our lives. They're asking him like crazy questions about his day and his darkness retreat. There's only one thing we're concerned about right now. Let's drop it. Let's drop it. Let's go. Let's go. He says in his darkness retreat, he essentially counted the nights in the darkness retreat by the amount of meals he got. So he knew what amount of meals it was. Okay. You know Schefter and Rappaport are just sitting there stewing that this isn't coming through them. Schefter and Rappaport don't have a clue as to what's going on, and it bothers them very, very badly. Call Saul, appreciate you. Mealy in the building, drop a like. Appreciate you. He wants to go back to the dark side, maybe. If the Jets are the dark side, bring it on, bro. Go to the dark side, baby. Go to that green and white dark side. Big O's in the building, says it's the same one from the darkness retreat. I think that stains, from the darkness retreat. I think he maybe put that hoodie on and he hasn't taken it off. He's been living in it. He's been, okay. JCIM is the first in the building today. Appreciate JCIM. Ben, appreciate you. David, appreciate you. New Noah, appreciate you. Romez, thanks for filing on in. Hit that thumb up button. Here we go. We're very, very close. Hang tight. We're going to know the answer. I can tell. They're going to it next. They're all smiling like, yeah, we know what we all want to talk about here. Okay, get to it. Get to it, boys. Get to it. Get to it. Okay, you thought about what it would be like as a retired human being, they said. You know, you were thinking about what it would be like to be a player coming back. Okay, so that's what they're talking about right now. They're setting it up. He's asking, did you know if you were going to retire or not retire when you went into the darkness retreat? And he's going to answer. He's saying this would be a great transition, the darkness retreat, to get into the next chapter of his life. Okay. The stain on his shirt's bothering me though. I'm not gonna lie. There's a stain on his shirt, and it's like this is the biggest moment of our lives, and all I can focus on is this spill. I don't know if it's like he's drinking water, he's staying hydrated. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if he's staying hydrated. But I don't know what this is, and it's bothering me right now. Aaron, let's crop it. Can we move the camera over slightly? I need to focus here. It's just sitting right in front of me. I have a feeling it's going to be Meme City. I have a feeling that's going to be Meme City. People are going to say that's a tear from Christian Watson. Some are going to say that's a tear. I think that's what it is. I think this is a tear from Christian Watson. Maybe he hugged Aaron Jones a minute or two before he went live, and this is Aaron Jones's tear. I don't know. Maybe it's our tear. Maybe at the end of this is our tear. Maybe this is the world's tear combined in one spot as we cry because he's going to announce the retirement. Let's see. Where days passed, it already happening, he said. This is clearing things up. It's already done. He's saying it's already done. He's going to talk for he's going to be talking for a little bit, he said. I'm going to go ahead and talk if you don't mind, Pat. Let me go ahead and talk. He's saying that I'm not here to announce what I'm doing. This is already days done. What is he's about to announce is days done, he said. He said coming on the show was never to announce he said I'm not coming on the show to announce I'm coming back or not coming back. I'm coming to tell you what's happening. I drafted Jordan to replace me, he said. The Packers, he said the Packers like to get rid of players early versus late. Oh, boy. I don't know which way he's going. I'm almost 1,000%. You don't get Lazard for $44 million and then step away. I know the Jets are getting him, but this is still making me nervous. They drafted Jordan Love. He's talking about Jordan Love a lot, so we know Jordan Love's starting for the Green Bay Packers.
To the moon.
He's talking a lot of history right now. Come on, Aaron Rodgers. Spit it out, boy. You could tell everybody's zoning out. They're like, bro. Hey, the stain's drying a little bit. The stain's slightly going away. Fast forward to 2020, he says. Okay, he said the regime, the president, everybody there, he just said, wasn't there when he was drafted. The new regime drafted Jordan Love. He's telling the story. That's always going to be home. My closest friends in the training room. Here he goes. Hit that thumb up button. Okay. He said that if he not won back-to-back MVPs, he said that the transition would have happened sooner. He's talking like this is done. And not just that he's announcing it, that it's done. I believe they can't trade him right away because of the cap implications, but hold on. When I came out of the darkness, something changed. He got back to his phone after 5 days, off his phone. Something changed? Oh no. Oh no. I don't know where he's going with this, I'll be honest. There'd been a little shift that he heard from multiple people that he trusts around the league, players, that there was shopping going on. Okay. That they were interested in moving him. He went into the darkness, 90% retiring, he said. 90% he was going to retire going into the darkness retreat. He said he focused one day on the reality he retired, one day that he didn't retire. 90% he was going to retire. When he came out, he was interested what the landscape was. He said, I don't know what changed the Packers' minds that they wanted to move on. He said, there's no victims. I'm not a victim. I love Green Bay. I love the fan base. He's gone. He's a New York Jet, baby. Hold on. He wished in the beginning. He's saying he's not happy, essentially, with the way Green Bay handled it while he was in the darkness. He said basically, Green Bay said, we love you, we're moving in a different direction. It's time to move on. He said that meant the world to him, that they told him. They said, we love you, but we want to move on. Okay, God, we're here. We're here. This is rubbing my head wrong. Oh, we got to go live on Instagram too. Okay, so he's about to tell it right now. He wants to get back into his workouts, see how it feels. So he's not sure at this point in his story whether he's coming back or not, but he's gone from the Green Bay Packers at this point in his story. Coming out of the darkness retreat, he came out and they didn't want him anymore, is what he's telling us, which is crazy. So on Tuesday, he wanted to play, he said, on this Tuesday coming out. Since Friday, I made it clear my intention was to play. And to play for the Jets. He says he hasn't held up anything at this point. It's been the compensation. So everyone calling him a diva. It's not on him. It's not on him. It's the compensation that's been holding it up. He's saying goodbye to the Packer fans, but he's also saying that the compensation is the holdup. It has nothing to do with him making his decision. He said his decision was made a while ago. They're waiting on the compensation. He says he still has the fire. He wants to play. He can play physically. He's back. He wants to go to the Jets. It's not officially done. The compensation is the problem. Okay. What's up, Instagram? Wow. Okay. So I might take this off and start talking to you guys, and we can maybe put this away for a second and just then digest it all and have the phone calls open. We'll open the phone lines, but right now we're hearing from Aaron Rodgers that this is not his decision. He's not making an announcement that he's coming back or not coming back. He's already decided he's coming back. He wants to come back. His body's ready. His mind's ready. He went into the darkness retreat, 90% going to retire. He went into the darkness retreat, 90% he was going to retire. And he spent one day focusing in his darkness retreat on if he lived in a world where he didn't play. He spent one day on focusing on whether he lived in a world where he did play. And he said he came out wondering what the landscape was. When he came out and he checked his phone, he heard the Green Bay Packers from several players and people he trusts that the Packers had decided to move on while he was in the darkness retreat. Then he approached them, they talked, and they said essentially, we love you, and he said he respects them. He doesn't hate it. He wished he would have been told a little earlier, but he says that they said, we love you, and it's time to move on. And he talked about how the people that drafted him, it's a different regime now. These individuals drafted Jordan Love. They drafted his replacement. Had he not won multiple MVPs, he would have been replaced earlier. But because they kind of had to keep him, but as of right now, the I guess the total total of what's going on right now is that he wants to play football. He's ready physically, he's ready emotionally, he's ready mentally, and he wants to play for the New York Jets. Those things have been made very, very, very abundantly clear. The thing that he said, this has already been decided. It's been in motion. He's not holding it up. Everyone blaming Aaron Rodgers. He's such a diva. He's holding back. He hasn't because the compensation hasn't been worked out. But he decided to come out and say, this is what I'm doing. He wanted to tell everybody before free agency started, like he said he would. He's a man of his word, regardless of what people want to throw negative shade on him. He did what he said he was going to do. Tell everybody before the new league year began, which begins today. But Aaron Rodgers has made it really clear that he has not held up the process. What's been holding up the process has been the compensation. So it's the compensation that's been holding it up, not Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know that there's any clarification at this point moving forward because he's already told us that they're waiting on compensation. It's stuck on compensation. Is there a potential way this thing doesn't happen? Yeah, but not when the Jets already brought in Lazard. Not when the Jets already brought in Hackett. There are so many pieces of this puzzle that have been brought in that they can't miss on this. And maybe Green Bay's got the Jets by the balls, but guess what? The Jets are going to allow them to do it. The Jets are going to say, go ahead and grip as tight as you want. We can handle it. And at the end of the day, it's going to be some sort of future first rounder that turns into a future conditional first rounder. If the Jets make the playoffs, if the Jets win the Super Bowl, if the Jets, make it to the championship game, whatever the case may be, there'll be some sort of conditional potential pick involved. I don't know that it will be. I imagine the Jets are trying to make it this number 13 overall, but I'm sure that's not going to. I'm confident that shouldn't happen. But could it if let's say the Green Bay Packers are just gripping said balls that tight and they're trying to control the situation? Maybe. This comment right here, Karen Rodgers. Look, Bo, the man's not holding it up. It's the two sides. It's the compensation. So I understand a lot of people don't love Aaron Rodgers, but he's not holding the process up. And everybody loves to judge this man. I love this man. And his stain on his shirt is already cleared up. It was clearly a tear. It was a sign that Aaron Jones or potentially Christian Watson had hugged him a minute prior to going live, and there was a little teardrop. It looked like a teardrop. It is said gone away, and it's time to celebrate. These are tears of joy on my face, but we are waiting until we find out that there's an official trade or a trade lined up because it's up to compensation. It's up to compensation at this point. Is there a possibility this falls through and Aaron Rodgers gets fed up and walks away? Sure. So it really does come down to God, a lot of you guys hate Aaron Rodgers so bad. I love him. I love A-Rod. I don't know if it's a Walmart shirt because it cleared up real quick. That's a nice potential maybe at least 80% cotton mix of a hoodie he's got on that was probably from the Darkness Retreat, probably the hoodie they gave him when he signed up and said, hey, here's a Darkness Retreat hoodie that comes with the package, and he's still wearing it. He says he's not offended by any of it. He's not a victim. I give Aaron Rodgers props for coming in and telling the truth, that it wasn't even his decision. It was the Green Bay Packers' decision. He came out of the Darkness Retreat without really a decision, and the Green Bay Packers made it for him. That's pretty honest. I kind of appreciate his honesty. I know a lot of people want to rip on him. No, I said it's not a Walmart shirt. Oh. Yeah, it cleared up real quick, Raj. That teardrop, there's going to be Meme City on that teardrop that he had on his shirt. Whose tear was it? Was it Watson's? Was it Aaron Jones? So AJ Hawk's asking him, you check your phone after you get out of the Darkness Retreat. And he said, AJ Hawk said, if you checked your text and it was Green Bay or somebody saying, hey, come back to Green Bay. We want you. We need you. AJ Hawk's asking, would that have changed his mind coming out? And he's saying not necessarily. Space Ricky, let's see what you got. Space Ricky. Aaron Rodgers says everybody felt like it was ready to move on. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off here. Guys, if you're on Instagram, follow me over on YouTube. We're live on YouTube, and you can check it out over there. Go to YouTube right now. Link in bio. Okay, so God, it is hot. I'm like dripping sweat. That headset was scratching my head. But I put a hat on to pat it, and then I start sweating like a dog in here. It's getting hotter here in Arizona. Okay, so the bottom line is this. Aaron, let me recap it in 10 seconds, and then we take phone calls. Then we hear from you, everybody complaining about Aaron Rodgers. Smitty, you're wrong. He has been holding this whole thing up. Frank, no, he just explained it. Holding this whole thing up. They've been waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision for the past. How do you know this, Frank? How do you know this over anybody else when there's no information? Aaron Rodgers just told you, and there's no reason to lie because he essentially just said that the Packers decided this, not him, in a way that was very humbling. Like he could have come out here and said, no, I came out and I wanted to go anyway. Like I'm breaking up with them before they break up with me. He essentially just admitted that they broke up with him before he had a chance to really even decide. So, and he said it in a very humble way. So I don't know where you're getting this, Frank, but I do appreciate you anyway. But I'm not wrong. Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. Dial in. And let's talk about this. Aaron Rodgers made his announcement. Aaron Rodgers is returning to football, assuming a trade gets worked out. Let me put this on screen so we have this announcement. A-Rod is returning to be a Jet. Assuming the trade compensation part is worked out, which is what is the holdup. That's the holdup right here. Nothing else is holding up anything. It is Aaron Rodgers telling you right now that this has already been in motion. He didn't go on the Pat McAfee show today to announce that he's going to come back or not or retire. He came on to tell him how this has all evolved. It's already been in motion. He would have went on Tuesday because he already had this all. He had the same information on Tuesday, but he didn't. Smitty got Aaron Rodgers back. Absolutely, I do got Aaron Rodgers back. Who wouldn't? I mean, I don't understand why people don't. Diva for what? What did he do? He waited until he literally waited. He waited until he couldn't wait any longer because the whole world's blowing up around him. They haven't made a decision yet. Is he drinking a prime drink? I don't know. It looked a little like a Metamoon Prime, to be honest with you, Ron. I'm not quite sure. But the Packers and the Jets need to make a decision on the compensation. Once that's done, then this can be announced. But we'll have to see. Dial in. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
People are so hard on Aaron Rodgers. They're just so hard. People hate Aaron Rodgers. It's crazy. I love the guy. I don't even understand it. First of all, he feeds us content. We're all sitting here for a reason. We're interested. We want to know what's going on. But he literally didn't set anybody up for this long-awaited announcement. They've been waiting. He's been waiting on the compensation to get ironed out. That's what's going on. Test, appreciate you. I can't even be excited as a Jet fan because this whole process has been exhausting. I will give that to you, East Coast Taddy. It has been exhausting, but apparently it's been exhausting because the two sides can't come to terms. That's what's going on here. He said he hadn't made a decision on returning, and they made their own decision. Exactly, Johnny. He said he went into the darkness retreat, 90% wanting to retire. And when he came out, he decided he wanted to play. But I don't think he had made a decision on where he wanted to play yet. He just decided he wanted to play football. He went in 90% wanting to retire. He came out and he said to himself, this is what he said from his, paraphrasing what he said. He needed to make sure his body could handle it. He knew his mind was right for it. He wanted to play. And so he said he wanted to go out, warm up, throw, see how his body would react. This doesn't sound like a guy that's playing 2 or 3 years, though. It sounds like a guy that's going for one more run, right? But he ends up saying, my body's ready. But when he walked out, he said after 5 days of no phone access, because it was a 4-day darkness retreat and then like a half a day wind down. So near the 5th day, he goes to his phone, which he hasn't checked in 5 days. It's got one bar, right? He looks at his phone. His phone says, from very trusted friends and players, the Packers are moving on. And so he doesn't take great offense to it, but he certainly feels like, okay, this isn't what I expected. The Packers have decided to break up with me, and maybe I was going to break up with them. He could have told us that he wanted to. He could have lied and said, you know what, I didn't want to be a Packer anyway. But no, he's being honest about it, and everyone's calling a diva. Everybody's hating on him right now when he literally has not held up a thing. It's the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets that need to agree on a compensation package, and he's sitting here waiting and waiting. He wanted to play from the beginning, since coming out of the darkness retreat. Literally the Tuesday coming out of the darkness retreat, he had already decided he's coming back. He's been waiting. I don't understand why everyone's giving him such grief. For real, 49er fans hate him. They do hate him. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, to be honest with you. I'm hearing Dallas is fixing to release Zeke Elliott. Yes, Dallas is going to release Zeke Elliott, but they can't do it until June. So that's kind of why it's going to be like kind of a almost, we don't know for sure issue. They're scheduled to potentially release him, but it's also, they want to give him the respect he deserves by not asking him to take a pay cut. What if he goes to him in the next couple weeks and says, you know what, I'll just take a pay cut? Then the Cowboys might keep him. So it's a potential respect move, but it's also a potential posture move by the team. So Aaron Rodgers is going to play football. Wants to be a New York Jet. Okay, I got to post this real quickly on Instagram. All right, let's get to the phone call, shall we? Let's dial into the phone line. The phone lines are there for a reason. The phone lines are there for a reason. Dial into the show. New York Jets. Okay, here we go. I'm going to post this real quick to my Instagram. I'm going to go to the voicemails because I believe the voicemails, we probably have a few voicemails. Let's go to the voicemail group. We got a voicemail from Terry Roberts, I think. Terry has a voicemail. Smitty, I don't know, Terry, what's going on with you said you can't moderate today? That's strange. I don't know why. I'll try and look into it, but thank you for letting me know. That's weird. Global, let's see here. I got another message here. I got one from, okay, nothing there. Where are my voicemails, guys? This is a voicemail group. Where are my voicemails? Bruce, drop a voicemail. Someone drop a voicemail. Terry Roberts, appreciate you. Can't moderate. YouTube has an error message. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're getting overloaded today because of the Aaron Rodgers situation. I think everybody's streaming on it. It's going crazy. Phone lines are open. Let's take your phone call.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Lions are on a roll, sun god, mofo. Look, Lions are just doing good things. This David Montgomery acquisition was fantastic. Okay, so we got a couple of things we need to talk about while we wait for phone calls and while we sit here and potentially talk more Aaron Rodgers. We got Zeke Elliott news. We've got this Baker Mayfield news. Let me put this Baker Mayfield news on screen here. Baker Mayfield has signed a 1-year deal. Is this a backup? Is this backup money? Is this a backup role? Former number 1 overall pick Baker Mayfield has agreed today on a 1-year deal worth $8.5 million with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Per sources, Mayfield is now in line to be Tom Brady's successor. I guess he's the starter, right? But is Trask going to put up a fight? I think he will. And the Bucks have come out and said, Trask's our guy. We love him. Trask is absolutely. This guy's a baller. I mean, he is a great college player. He came out. We have full faith in Trask.
5 days later.
If a veteran beat out Trask in a competition, so be it.
Couple weeks later.
We'll sign Baker Mayfield to a $8.5 million deal. He'll become our starter. Let's go. I mean, this has been kind of annoying that that this team is supported Trask, not supported him, signed Baker. Now he's signed into a deal that potentially makes him a starter. We don't know what's going on. It's not a good situation. And we haven't really talked about the impact of not having a quarterback in Tampa Bay and how that affects greatly the wide receiver room, which is two very big name players that consume a lot of people's high end wide receiver 2 player, right? Okay, so Trey Wingo was correct. Can we all admit that Trey Wingo, who said, I've heard that it's a done deal, like that Aaron Rodgers is coming back. But the compensation part, hearing Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is a done deal. I mean, I guess technically not if the compensation. Trey Wingo got it a little bit wrong. I think he should have worded it differently. And maybe he heard this, though, and he was corrected, was going to get done. But essentially, we're waiting on the compensation, so technically it's not a done deal, Trey. But we still love Trey, and Trey was still ultimately right. And I think Schefter was ultimately very upset, and his feelings were hurt. His little itty-bitty feelings were hurt because Trey Wingo dropped a bomb before. Man, Aaron Rodgers, look at this. This is from Rappaport dropping that. Aaron Rodgers in the 12 green. Let's go. Staying in a green color. I like it. Makes sense, right? It makes sense. Okay, let's see if you gotta love this one. New York Jets. New York Jets post this. Oh, I gotta put that on the screen. It's even better if I post it on the screen. You know that clip of Leonardo DiCaprio. What movie is it? I'm blanking out on the movie where it goes. There's this image here from the New York Jets they dropped on New York Jets, and then it was retweeted by Rappaport. So he's a Jet. It's a compensation. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of ironing it out. But this one, what movie was this from? What movie is this from? New York Jets hat on top of Leo's head. Attaboy Jets. I love the sense of humor that the New York football Jets have. This top 8 NFL team, I might add. Yeah, you heard me. Top 8 NFL team. That's how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Call in and tell me how you feel about it. Call in and tell me how much you hate Aaron Rodgers. Call in and tell me whatever's on your mind. Let me get the Zeke Elliott news up in. I thought I screenshotted this Zeke Elliott news, and I don't have it on my phone now. But Zeke Elliott is probably going to be a cap casualty. However, they're going to release him later. So let me put this up here. Zeke Elliott. There's this piece of news here. I have a feeling we're going to be live a couple times today. It feels like one of those days. Was that in Wolf of Wall Street? Did he did that though? Why am I thinking he didn't do it in Wolf of Wall Street? I guess he did. One of the best movies of all time is Wolf of Wall Street. Let's just put that out there into the ether. The time has come. Okay, Ezekiel Elliott era is done in Dallas? ? The Cowboys are set to part ways from two-time rusher. This is subject to change though. Because he doesn't want to take a pay cut. They're both posturing. But at the end of the day, if Zeke Elliott feels like this is the closest way for him to potentially get like nice volume, then he needs to look into taking a pay cut. Because he might end up getting paid more. Let's see here. Confirming Aaron Rodgers' report. And then what is this? Schefter just tweeted. Let me put it on the screen. What does this mean? Is this Aaron Rodgers? What is this? What is this? Schefter just tweeted this out. What does he mean by this? Is he trying to play fun on the fact that Aaron Rodgers? Let me share this with you guys. And you tell me what your assessment is. And I'm still waiting on some phone calls. I don't know if my phone lines are broken or what. But dial in and I want to hear your opinion. Schefter just tweeted this out. Confirming Aaron Rodgers' report. Aaron, lose my number. Good try, though. Do you think this is real? Why would Schefter post this? Is he so upset and bent out of shape? What is this? What is this? Is this a joke? Is this just trolling the topic of being hurt and just kind of having fun with it? Or is this literally a screenshot? This can't be real. This can't be real. Confirming Aaron Rodgers' report. And then Rodgers got, like, he texted him maybe and said, hey, is this true? And he said, lose my number. Good try, though. That sounds like Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers was pissed at Schefter and Rappaport, saying if you heard anything, hit that thumb up, by the way. If you heard anything, it's coming from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. It's not true because they won't have that information. And I feel like they were so bent out of shape over that. They've been in a tizzy ever since, and they hated Trey Wingo dropping information. They hated that Trey Wingo knew that the Woody and the Jets brass was flying in a private plane to Aaron Rodgers, and Trey Wingo broke that story, and Schefter and Rappaport didn't have it. They've been so bent out of shape over this. It wouldn't surprise me if this is real and Schefter's airing dirty laundry, or is he joking and trolling with himself? Just having fun. I don't know. That's a real screenshot Aaron said on the McAfee show. Really? Wow. So this guy's so bent out of shape. Oh, so he said, lose my number. Good try, though. And Rappaport's proving that actually did happen by screenshotting it. Okay. But was there like a joking tone to it? Or is it really Aaron Rodgers telling him to get lost? That would be hilarious. The downfall of Schefter being the number one source has been kind of funny to watch. Because we've all been kind of Rappaport guys. But Rappaport's quickly falling into the same lane. And I don't know. Rappaport used to be so easygoing. Now he's getting territorial. He's getting upset. You hear reports all the time. Somebody sent me a video clip. I forget who sent it to me. I had seen parts of it in another place. But where this guy, I forget who it was a former player that I guess worked for ESPN, broke news on something, and they were told that he needed to apologize to Adam Schefter because he stepped out of his lane, which was just to do like commentary for ESPN or something, and he had to apologize to Adam Schefter for breaking news on his show. Absolutely crazy. This is insane. So here we are. Lamar Jackson doesn't need to be a New York Jet yet, but you never know. What if this all falls through because the New York Jets and Green Bay Packers play around too long? Lamar Jackson, we find out at 4:00. That'll be 1 p.m. my time at 4:00 Eastern, 1 p.m. my time. I believe we'll be back here live on Aaron Rodgers on Lamar Jackson news. I fully believe that we'll be here on that. Did I put the Zeke Elliott news up? Yeah, I did. So what I was saying about Zeke is there's a potential Zeke gets restructured, takes a pay cut to stay with the team because he's going to feel like I can't go get more than the pay cut amount. I might be able to take a pay cut that's higher than the amount I could get anywhere else. And if he does get a little bit more or the same amount as he would anywhere else, he gets to stay in the same system. He knows he's probably going to be fed a decent amount. They're going to transition over to Tony Pollard. We know that. Zeke Elliott's probably a good hold. We want him to stay with the Cowboys because we don't want the Cowboys tempted to draft Bijan Robinson or another running back. We don't want Pollard's value to go down the toilet because we open up a vacancy that maybe Jerry Jones is itching to fill with a big-name player. I'd rather an aging, getting older, shell of himself running back like Zeke Elliott be sitting there in position to vulture or be the change of pace back. And I don't want it to be a young, fresh rookie with fresh legs and drive to go get the starting job. Do I think Eckler will be traded? I think that, and I'm going to do a video on this, I think Eckler's got a very strong shot at going to either the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Buffalo Bills. I really believe that. I think the Eagles are in play for a big running back. They just signed Penny, but I don't know that necessarily closes any doors. They also have the number 10 pick for Bijan and the number 30 pick for Jahmyr Gibbs. So they're set up very well to bring in a big-name running back that could be a difference maker. And with some of the defensive losses, which they can fill through the draft, it would make sense for them to use the 10 and the 30 on defensive pieces and then trade a second-round pick for Henry, trade a second-round pick for Eckler. Those are all potential options, I think, for the Philadelphia Eagles. But ultimately, yes, Eckler or Dalvin Cook or Chubb or Henry, I believe one or two of those guys will be traded in the offseason, in the coming weeks maybe. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
This is Austin.
Austin, my guy. What's up?
Oh, just over here cleaning pools, waiting for a couple callers to come in, but I'll take over.
Yeah, bro, step up. I'm glad you stepped up, took care of business. People are sitting back, too shy today. I don't know if it was yesterday's screaming match that has people scared to call in. I don't know. But what do you think about this? Are you a team Aaron Rodgers guy, or are you tired of the whole? I don't blame people for being tired of the whole situation. But like Aaron Rodgers came out, bro, and literally said, I came out of the darkness retreat, and that very Tuesday I knew I wanted to play. The team no longer wanted me, so I told them, okay, I want to play for the Jets. Let me make sure on Tuesday I can throw. I feel good physically. Okay, get it in motion. And it's been pretty much set in stone that he's wanting to play, and it's been near set in stone that he wants to play for the Jets, and that's going to happen. And it's been the two sides that haven't agreed, and yet everybody, even in the live chat, which I love everybody in here, and I'm fine with everybody having opinions. I know they're upset and tired of this dragging out situation, but like Aaron Rodgers, he literally is just sitting there being honest, open book, being candid, humbled by the fact that the team broke up with him. He didn't even break up with them, and like everyone's still got a problem with him. I don't know.
Well, the problem is, Smitty, that Aaron Rodgers wants the Green Bay Packers and the NFL to cater to him on his time, and it took too much time. The Packers are sick of it. They're ready to move on.
I can give you that in terms of like he wanted to go into the darkness retreat. I get that, and I can understand that stance. But like even right now, though, people acting like he's doing things wrong right this very second. I don't think he's being candid and honest about it. But I do get it. Look, part of me is exhausted by it. I'm not gonna lie. Part of me wants this to be over, and the fact that these two teams have not decided on compensation yet when they've been sitting here. Why not? Like, this is stupid for both teams to not figure this out. Like, you're hampering yourself right now. And then there's the contract situation where I believe the details of his contract, I don't know that he talked about it, have it such that the Green Bay Packers take a huge money hit this year if they trade him before June 1. If they trade him after June 1, then they can lay off that money hit, that dead money over the course of multiple years. I don't know if they talked about that yet, but I have heard that about his contract. So that's crazy. A lot of people don't like Aaron Rodgers. It's fine. I like him, but you don't have to. You guys don't have to.
I'm not a Rodgers fan. I'm a Brady guy, and I think part of it is Rodgers' entire career has been in the shadow of Tom Brady. So Brady's gone, and he's got this moment, his time to shine, and he's really milked it, and it's taken a toll.
It's time to shine. I think this is probably his last year, though. He does seem like he was very much questioning his ability to come back, and I think he wouldn't do it if he wasn't able to physically. But I feel like he's definitely in a position where, this seems like it's his last go at it, I believe. I don't know where he is because he's not in his normal setting. It looks like he's in a very small room. He had what looked like a teardrop on his shirt. I imagine that was from some sad player of his that was hugging him and saying goodbye to him. I don't know. It vanished. His shirt is now clear of any teardrops or watermarks.
He's ready to move on.
He's ready to move on. The alligator tears have dried up. Whose ever tears they were.
As much as I love to hate on Rodgers,
yeah,
New York's the fit. If you're going to go and have one last hurrah, you got a young team full of talent, and you're going to go there and ball out.
Isn't it?
I personally think.
Isn't it?
I think that Aaron Rodgers is washed, but
you do. It's a great location, I think.
I mean, he'll have a chance. He's a competent quarterback. He can throw the ball. He can run an offense. I don't think he's half the player he used to be.
I think he is. I think maybe he's lost. Like Tom Brady lost a little bit of maybe arm strength, but like he's still so smart. I think the thing you got to think about too is fit. Like you just said, the words you use, fit. If you put Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay again, he's not going to win a Super Bowl. You put Aaron Rodgers in an offense that's literally the best offense he's ever had, coupled with the number 1 or number 2 defense in the NFL. I think whatever drop off he may have taking place will be completely hidden. There'll be a mask over it. You're talking about the number 1 or number 2 defense in the National Football League. You're talking about a team that played rather well with horrible quarterback play or injured quarterback play or musical chairs at quarterback. Like the Jets, all they
Hey. Mike White is
yeah,
awesome.
right. But Mike White didn't play well when his time was to shine last year in certain spots. He was hurt. There was a lot of things going on with him. And I love Mike White, and I can't wait to see Mike White start games. Not at the expense of Tua. I don't want it to sound that way, but I don't think Tua is staying upright. So Mike White starts games, looks great in Miami. We celebrate Mike White to the moon, absolutely.
To the moon.
But if we're being honest with ourselves and we're being objective, there was spotty and sporadic and inconsistent and poor quarterback play for the Jets almost the entire year. And the fact that they still looked like a good team, bro. I don't know if anybody remembers, but when I was watching games, I kept saying to myself, this team looks so good considering what they're going through at quarterback. And all they need is an Aaron Rodgers. All they need is really a Mike White would have even probably done the trick to at least get him to be a top 10 team or something. But Aaron Rodgers with the number 1 or number 2 overall defense, Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson, who's a top 5 wide receiver, especially under Aaron Rodgers' command, because Christian Watson was evolved so quickly under Aaron Rodgers' tutelage. And then you got Elijah Moore. You got Breece Hall. Breece Hall is going to, maybe you won't even know Breece Hall tore his ACL. I've already predicted that's the phrase we're going to hear a lot. You barely look, you can't even tell he tore his ACL. He's going to be scampering through wide open lanes because Aaron Rodgers, his presence immediately spreads the defense out. And so you're going to have a gap that's this big turn into a gap that's this big. The A gap no longer looks like this. It looks like this. The wide open, he throws to him in the flat. Oh, Aaron, I'm going to put a picture of Aaron Jones on your helmet so he can just imagine it's Aaron Jones. He needs familiar. He can't bring everybody in. He wants to bring everybody in, but he can't. So he's going to throw to Breece Hall. Breece Hall's going to catch that ball, and instead of being 4 feet from a player, he's going to be 6 feet from a player. Like it's just gonna cascade through the entire offense, the defense, the offense. They help each other. They fit like this together. And Aaron Rodgers, whatever drop off and talent he has, I don't know, man. I think this is a top 8 team in the NFL. I think this is a top 8 team in the NFL. I think they're a division winner potential candidate. I think the Bills, the Jets, and the Miami Dolphins. I don't think the Patriots are going to be division winners, but I think literally one of the toughest divisions in football, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills are going to all be fighting for that division win. And the remaining 2 that don't win the division, let's just say Buffalo wins the division, the Jets and the Dolphins will grab 2 of the only available 3 wild card spots, which means the rest of the.
I think you're right, Smitty. I think I really believe that the Jets know that Rodgers will only be there for a year, and they don't want to give up. They don't want to ruin their future. They've done such a good job building a well-rounded young core that they are one quarterback away from a Super Bowl run. But at the same time, they can't just destroy their whole future. And the Packers think so highly of Rodgers. I'm sure they want so much for him. I'm sure they're at a standstill.
The more I've heard little birdies whispering in my ear, bro, the more I've heard it's not going to be the 13 pick. It might be why there's a hang-up. They want it. The Jets or the Packers might want the 13 pick, but what I've heard is it's a potential conditional first rounder, meaning if they go, depending on how far they go, and that might be what they're arguing. If they go, they might say if we make the playoffs, we'll make it a second, it'll, I don't know, whatever. I could see the Packers saying, if you make the playoffs, we want a first rounder. And they're saying, no, we need to make the championship game for it to be a first rounder, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's probably what is going to be transpiring. I believe Randall Cobb will be included in the trade. He's still on the roster, right? Randall Cobb. Let's pull up Randall Cobb real quick. I think he's he's still. Who's on? Let's see here. Austin, hang tight. Let's get to who was that said? Yeah, he is. Mario or Charles? Charles. Mario, you're next. Charles, go ahead. You got the floor. Austin, hang tight.
Oh no, I was just listen to you guys, so I don't want to interrupt. I just come in peace. I just
You
want
come
to
in-
listen and maybe chime in.
Bro, don't be fearful that this is going to turn into me yelling at you. I really.
I know. I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Charles.
But
What do you?
how do you feel if Rodgers goes to the Jets? How do you think he's going to handle with the media? Because New York media is pretty tough on players.
I mean, I'll say this: do you feel, regardless of whether you hate or love Rodgers, regardless of whether you agree with his style of communicating his life through a show? And then being quiet about it and taking his time and doing announcements and such. Do you feel like he has any intimidation that he'll be intimidated at all? But yeah. So I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be fine with it. I don't think he'll. First of all, I don't think he'll be very open and available to the media, and the media can thrash him all they want. But guess what? The New York media is going to love him if he wins, and they're going to trash him if he loses. So I think it's all on the play. I think that he will absolutely love it if they're winning and everyone's going to be singing his name and praises. It just comes down to whether they win games. And I honestly don't know how it can't work out unless he gets hurt. I'm not saying they for sure win the Super Bowl or anything like that, but this is a top 8 team. This is at least win one playoff game minimum. And I think that'll be a disappointing year, but I think it's a potential. This look, there are 3 teams, maybe more than 3 teams, but these are the 3 teams that come to mind right now. That if someone were to come to me and say, Smitty, who are your Cincinnati Bengals for this year? And keep in mind when I tell you these 3 teams, you have to understand the context. When someone came to me and said, Smitty, give me a Super Bowl winner that is just head scratching, and the year they drafted Jamar Chase, I said the Bengals. I said the Bengals will not only, in a bold fashion, be a Super Bowl contending team. This is a team that will win their division. I'm not making a bold statement. I'm just telling you how I feel. They're going to win the division. Bro, that sounded stupid. That sounded stupid to everybody. It was bold. But things that are ahead of the curve sound stupid because they haven't happened. They're not normal. They're against the grain. These 3 teams are the most likely to be the previous example Cincinnati Bengals for the 2023 season. The Miami Dolphins, the Chicago Bears, and the New York Jets. Those are the 3 teams that if I had to go drop a futures wad on one of those teams to appear in the Super Bowl, let's say. Let's not call them a Super Bowl winner. Let's just say Super Bowl appearance. Shock me, Smitty. Give me 3 teams. I give you the Jets, I give you the Bears, and I give you the Dolphins. Those are the 3 teams that make the most sense to me, given the weaponry, given the way they're operating in the offseason. Even though the Jets haven't made a ton of moves, this is a big enough move to say, hey, this is all they need. This is really all they need.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mario real quick. Mario.
My bad. I was muted. Hello?
Yeah, what's up, pal?
What's up, Smitty? Well, you hit the nail on the head. I was kind of going to bring up those few teams. You just brought up the Bears, the Dolphins, and the Jets. I would toss in the Lions in there just because I'm turning into a pretty big Lions fan, but I'm really calling in to say how excited I am for this next coming season.
To the moon.
Yeah, bro.
I've been this hyped in a while.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm bringing enough energy to the off season for you guys. I feel like no show does what we do, and I'm hoping that translates into more and more growth. And we're growing good. We've got a great viewership. I mean, we're at 163 viewers right now. We're in the dead off season. I know it's a big day, but this is what we've been doing pretty much every day during the free agencies, getting in the hundreds and 160s, 180s. Last night we had like 270 people on the Montgomery live stream. Like we're doing some damage, and I just I'm grateful. I said this on Instagram in the private channel, and for those that are wondering, hey Smitty, I'm not getting notifications every time you go live. YouTube throttles the notifications back when you go live 4, 5, 6 times a day. They just don't think that people want to get notified that many times. So I'm going to drop a link in the live chat. This is an invite link on Instagram, and it's free. if you subscribe to this link by just clicking subscribe on it when it loads up, you'll be given a channel in your DMs on Instagram. So you'll see your primary, your general DM chats, and then there's a channel tab. And you'll get this channel added. It's a one-way conversation. You can react with emojis, like a heart emoji when I say something, or a thumb down emoji, or a poop emoji if you want, or the cucumber emoji is a common favorite for people. But in this one-way conversation, I announce when I'm going live every time. And so if you guys want to make sure you never miss an announcement, here's that link right now. Let me drop it. If it'll let me. Can't even copy it. Hold on. Come on, bro. So what else you got? Let's go back to who's on the phone here. Let's go back to Austin. Austin, what are you thinking?
I'm zoning out. What's up, Smitty?
Yeah, what do you got? What else is on your mind?
All I'm thinking is Zappy Hour, baby.
Hey, look, Zappy's starting some games in 2023. Let's be real. Let's be real, guys. Does anybody really think that this guy, Mac Jones, is the real deal? Guys, right here, here's the Instagram link. Actually, let me give some clarification to it. Sub on IG. Never miss a notification. A live. Let's get Matt in here. Matt's calling in. Matt, hold on one second. If I miss you, call back. Live notification.
Hey, Smitty, I got to get back to work, brother. I appreciate you having me on. I'll probably call in soon. Love you, man.
Okay, who was that? Austin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Austin, take it easy, pal. Appreciate you.
Zappy Hour, baby.
Yep, Zappy Hour. Matt, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Matt?
Just calling in, man. See a lot of stuff going on, man.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, hang tight. Let's let Matt. What can I do for you? What else? What are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
What? I don't know, man. I think. What do you think's gonna happen? You think it's gonna happen today with Rodgers?
I'm hoping that the pressure of this announcement speeds the two parties along. That's what I'm hoping. But are we in a?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are we in a risky territory though? Like where like these two sides piss off Aaron Rodgers and he steps away. I mean, I don't know if you guys were as shocked as I was, but when he said that when he went into the darkness retreat, Aaron Rodgers said he was 90% going to retire.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he was 90% going to retire when he walked into the darkness retreat.
So, like, what? I don't know, man. Like, I know that a big part of him not wanting to, I feel like, is if he went out the same year as Brady did, they would be inducted the same year, and Brady would take all the spotlight. So I'm sure that's one reason why he's kind of like on the fence about it. I mean, I don't know, man. I thought he was for sure going to announce yesterday that he was going to join the Jets and they was going to have it all teamed out, but. I'm just kind of surprised that they're waiting as long as they have.
Yeah. I think he's been waiting for the compensation to be announced, and I don't know why he didn't want to, announce it beforehand. But apparently he didn't want to step on the deal, or he was instructed, hey, can you wait? Who knows? But apparently he waited long enough. He didn't want to make anybody wait. He told everybody he was going to announce before the league year started. The league year starts at 4 p.m. Eastern. So he's a man of his word in my book. I honestly don't dislike Aaron Rodgers at all. I know everyone else does, and I appreciate that. I can understand.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? Favre or Rodgers? Who you taking?
Rodgers. Like, I love Favre. I watched both of them play, so I'm old enough to have watched both of them play. I think a lot of people aren't, just like Jordan and LeBron. That whole, I don't want to get into that, but that's just the worst. This is a mess. These young kids don't understand. But that's a
sensitive topic for a lot of people.
Yeah, I watched Favre and Rodgers, and Favre was fun. He was so fun to watch. He was so good. The amount of games that guy played without getting hurt, like there's so many things about Favre that were amazing. And there's a different era, similar to the Jordan and LeBron debate when you're talking about different eras. But at the end of the day, Rodgers is just a more superior quarterback. But could you argue, like one has a better career than the other? Sure. Like there's a Brett Favre argument, there's an Aaron Rodgers argument. But like in terms of like skill, Aaron Rodgers is unbelievable. And I know a lot of people rip on the fact that
he's
You what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say skill wise, man. He's arguing. You could argue that he's the best thrower of the football that we've probably ever seen. Other than Mahomes, I know it's early in his career and all that stuff, man. Like Rodgers, he can spin it, man. And he's. I feel like he might not have the accolades like the Super Bowls and stuff like that. I mean, MVPs he's got a shit ton. I apologize.
Thanks, Frank.
I apologize.
No, it's all right.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I know he's got a lot of. Go ahead.
No, so YouTube's lighting up on the discipline for the smaller words like that, so you're fine.
Okay.
I hear you. I hear you. Does anybody here think that Aaron Rodgers is going to bust? We got Bruce on the line. Bruce, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to bust?
No.
Charles, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to bust?
As a big Rodgers hater, no, I don't think so. I think he's gonna. I think he'll win MVP if he goes with the Jets.
Woo!
Really? Woo! That's a hot take right there, man.
Woo!
Man,
as a Rod.
Aaron Rodgers.
Woo! Hey, Matt.
I mean, he very well could. Go ahead,
Matt, is he going to bust, Matt?
Man, I don't know. It's hard to predict. They're in the AFC, man. That's a tough division.
Yeah, but it all comes down to the wild card spot, and there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tough race, but we broke this down the other day. The NFC is tougher than the AFC in terms of the wild card race. There could be potentially a couple bigger home run hitters in the AFC for sure, but when it comes down to the wild card race, the NFC is deep. I mean, there's like 6-7 teams that are going to be fighting for, maybe 7-8 teams fighting for the 3 wild card spots. In my opinion, in the AFC, while there are heavier hitters on top, it's about 4 or 5 teams that are competing for the 4, 5, 6 teams competing versus 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. So I think the Jets and the Dolphins both end up. Ron, call in again. I thought I hit yes and it didn't accept it or whatever. But dial in again, Ron. I think that it's going to be. You what?
Here. What do you mean calling again?
What? You talking to us or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the phone, Ron. Okay. It didn't.
He's like, what do you mean?
I didn't know that was Ron talking. Ron, I'm glad you made it in here. I hit accept. It didn't show you added. Weird. Ron, what can we do for you, pal?
I got a question. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead real quick, and then we'll go to Ron.
I was just saying, this is totally off topic of A-Rod. I was just going to ask you some questions about Lamar Jackson. I feel like not a lot of people talk about his like statistics as a QB. But he still has yet to throw for 3,500 yards in a season. But yet people are like raving about him. And like I'm not a Lamar hater. I'm actually from Kentucky. He went to college at Louisville. I supported him. I thought he'd be nice in the NFL. But man, the people thinking that he should get like a basically an empty check, it just blows my mind. I mean, seriously.
So
what's your thoughts on that?
Couple things. One, Lamar Jackson has not been given like weapons, man. So it's really hard to judge him, and say why isn't he throwing for this or that. But he's also not that kind of quarterback where he needs to throw for 4,000 yards to earn his keep or be a top 5 quarterback. He runs a lot. I think if you put him in Miami, he would throw for well over 4,000 yards, and he would run a lot less, and that would keep him healthy. I think if you put him in Atlanta, he would do a little less running, but still run a lot, but very good runs that keep him a little healthier. And he's got so many weapons that he gets to throw a whole lot more. Maybe he does breach 3,800 to 4,500 yards. I mean, it really could be anywhere in that territory. I think to judge him off of his yardage when he literally built up Hollywood Brown and then they traded him away. It was absolutely ridiculous. He hasn't had anyone to throw to. I think if you took away Joe Burrow's weapons? Like, what if you gave Joe Burrow Bateman and Duvernay? And I'm saying I know Joe Burrow would throw a lot of yards still, and he'd still do good. But would Joe Burrow be anywhere near the Joe Burrow we see today?
Right. I mean,
you know what I mean. So
Josh Allen before Diggs was not.
Yeah.
He wasn't nothing. So,
Yeah.
You're right. I agree with that.
And so like there's that factor, but there's also the fact that he's not a big passing yardage guy anyway. He's not even Jalen Hurts is way better. Like Jalen Hurts is going to be the first quarterback to ever throw for 4,000 yards, or was it 5,000 yards and rush for 1,000? That could happen. Like that's going to be a crazy stat when he does that. Lamar's never going to do that. But Lamar, I think I agree with you that he shouldn't get like some monster number 1 or number 2 overall payday at the quarterback position. But he was offered a very nice $133 million, fully guaranteed for 3 years type of deal by the Ravens, and he balked at it. He himself put that. I think I have it here somewhere. He himself put that
on Twitter.
Yeah, that message up. I think it's right here. Is it right here? No, that's Jimmy G's. But like to turn that down is crazy to me, because it puts him in a position to do a lot of what he's mapped out as far as his career path. His I don't know. I have it somewhere on here. But basically, Lamar Jackson would get paid $44.33 million, I believe, is what 133 divided by 3. I think it's $44.33 million. That is not 47. It's not 50. It's not 46. I get it. It's not 45. Maybe they could tweak it a little bit, make it 45 million even, whatever. But that gives him flexibility because he's a quarterback and he's got a long shelf life. 3 years is going to go by like that, and he's still going to be very valuable as long as he doesn't have some sort of like broken hip wall or some kind of devastatingly career-ending injury.
He's only 26. Yeah, he's only 26.
Yeah,
I mean,
so with the cap going up, I mean, let's say he takes the 133 3-year deal, $133 million. And I heard somewhere, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I heard somewhere there was an injury clause in it that would have paid him 170 or something if he got injured or something. There was some kind of weird, I don't know what that trigger would be or how long he'd be out.
175.
175. I believe that would be if he was like a career-ending injury or something. I don't think if he just got hurt. There has to be some significant, like, he can never get another contract again. He's injured, can't play again. $175 million guaranteed. That is probably the best deal that he could dream up, and it gives him the flexibility to, off the back of Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts' new contract extensions, which will be in the $450 to $500 million range, which will be in the $50+ million a year range. In 3 years from now, Lamar will swoop right in when the cap goes up another 22% by the time his 3-year contract's up. Not to mention, if he played well, he'd get extended or re-upped after his second year. It would have been the most wonderful position to be in. I don't understand what he's thinking. So, blank check, no. But did he already get what he deserved? I believe so. I believe that deal was a phenomenal deal for a guy that hasn't been able to stay healthy, which I partly blame and mostly blame on the Ravens for running him into the ground without weapons. It's like Fields. Did Fields get hurt last year? Yes.
man.
But why?
Fields can actually throw the ball.
Right. But why did Fields get hurt? He had no weapons. The weapons he did have got hurt. So you can't really blame Lamar for getting hurt in Baltimore. But what I can blame Lamar for is going back to Baltimore. If he goes back to Baltimore, doesn't sign one of these offer sheets that is surely to come. I don't know if he'll get one today at 4 p.m. Eastern or what. But if he doesn't sign an offer sheet, it's going to be ridiculous because he's going to potentially go back to Baltimore and be a bust because he's going to continue to get run into the ground with no weapons or support. Maybe I change my tune if at this 22 overall pick, the Baltimore Ravens draft one of the big 4 wide receivers if they're so lucky to have like Addison or Flowers fall there. Ron Navy, go ahead.
Hey, Smitty.
Yo. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that Rodgers came out and basically said that he wants to be a Jet and set the record straight. And that that it is behind the scenes. You know, they still got the teams, the Jets and Green Bay, still got to come to terms. But he wants to play for the Jets, so at least we got that part done with and over with.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, New York's a different animal. I don't know how he's going to fare in New York because it is such players that it's a different animal playing in New York, and he's so laid back. I mean, look, he goes on the darkness retreats, and he's such a laid back person. New York, playing for any team in New York comes with its own unique stresses. So, I'm not saying he's not going to be successful, but there's a possibility that his own, I guess, the way he approaches things in a relaxed manner, and you know how, like Zen-like, right? New York might disturb that his Zen because of just the animal that New York is.
Well, if he's winning, though, I don't know that it'll be as big of a deal. But if he's losing, I suppose he does seem to tune it out, though. He does seem to not care, though. You know, he's that kind of person. He's not dialed in very, 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 very well into the pulse of everything.
Right.
But,
he's such a laid-back person in his regular life that I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts and how he deals with that type of New York pressure, like from the fan base and from just being in New York itself.
You know what I think happens? I think we all react a certain way to it, and he just doesn't even really hear about it. You know what I mean? Like, we all want to think we know all this about Aaron Rodgers, though. And I get why everybody hates the situation and they're tired of him. I get it. But I honestly think he won't take in or absorb much of it. If it's negativity, he just won't hear it. He's, like you said, a very laid-back guy. He's very weird. And I think he unplugs differently than we would. We're all sitting there watching him. We're watching him more than he's watching himself. So I think it's easy for us to think it's going to affect him, but I don't know that it will. But I will say, Ron, that I feel like it will be affected by how he plays and how the Jets do. If the Jets, are winning all season long, remember this will be his last year probably, right? Based on the way he's talked a lot.
Right.
If let's say they're having a really good year, then he's not going to hear any negativity. If they fail, then yeah, he might hear it, but he'll be gone. So I don't know. As long as they win early on and they're competitive, I don't think there'll be a whole lot of negativity. If they start out 0-3 or 1-4, then there's going to be a lot of turmoil. But I don't know that it'll impact him like it'll impact us. We'll be talking about it. We'll be absorbing it. But he's so unplugged. Like that interview he did, I don't even know where he was. He's just in some random room. Who knows where that is? But
Out on the beach.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, he could be at some little hut somewhere.
Yeah, because remember, New York came out there to visit him. He hasn't moved anywhere. He hasn't left that spot, so he's still out in Cali on the beach. And no, I'm not saying that he's going to be it's a unique situation because of, Green Bay's a little small town, right? A little small, kick back. It's laid back. He fits in Green Bay. The way he is personally fits with Green Bay, and I don't know how he's going to be able to handle that fast Jets or New York type of, because he hates that stuff.
Yeah.
He hates that type of stuff that New York attitude brings. I mean, he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
He likes things nice and smooth and laid back.
Macho, appreciate your super chat, pal. Yeah.
The other interesting thing is, hold on a second. I got a stupid plane flying.
Yeah, it sounds like you're scuba diving. I don't know if you guys know the meter we have here for getting hot here on the show. If you're on a call or what's going on, but thank you Macho for the super chat. Thank you Terry Roberts for the super chat. You guys rock to the moon. Appreciate you both.
To the moon.
But we have this little hot meter. Ron, did you get my little image I sent you? Where it showed not hot in green is a saint. Then we got kind of hot. We got Ron Navy in the middle. We got Steven as super hot and Flounder as freaking hot. I've got it on screen.
I'm the middle guy now. Wow. I'm like the cream filling in the Oreo, I guess.
Yeah, you're not so out of control anymore. Let's see here.
I felt out of control last night, I tell you.
Yeah, we had a mixed bag. We had a lot of people saying that they could have done without the Flounder segment. We had a lot of people saying they were crying. It was so funny. I think if you took it in with an open mind, it was a really, really funny segment because we have never had a caller call in and offer his wife to somebody. And that was like my jaw. Like I didn't know where to go at that point. This is not that kind of show. The voice called in. And the voice was basically like, calm down to this guy. And he's like, you can have my wife. It was like, whoa. What does this
out
even,
of nowhere.
what does this even mean, bro? What's Flounder doing?
And I think different being on call and it's like watching the show, there's a difference in how you perceive it sometimes. So being on the outside, that's probably a lot funnier.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a funny show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
go
ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers not in the number 12 jersey. Aaron Rodgers, because he was asked that question back ago, and I think he has respect for Joe Namath, even though Joe Namath you can wear the thing. I think Rodgers possibly.
Hey, Ron, we might have to have you mute until you get into a better area. It's real windy. It sounds like you're getting.
No, that's not me.
Oh,
that's
who
not
is that?
Me. But listen, I'll pause and you'll still hear it.
Is that Matt or is that
He's
Charles?
On the boat, it may be me. I'm driving.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's your
I paused.
Maybe it's your air conditioning. Charles, while you're there, do you got anything you want to say? And then yeah, maybe mute it after. I think you maybe got the air conditioning on or something. But Charles, what did you want to say?
Oh, so we think with Baker going to Tampa, we think the Rams are going to just deal with Matthew Stafford?
I mean, bro, I don't think Stafford's going anywhere. You know, and I think he's coming back to play. You never know, but it just depends on like health. You know, if he comes out and there could be something that pops up there. But Baker, Buccaneer maker might be the starter there in Tampa. I mean that's potentially starter money, I suppose. But Trask was getting all the hype by the team, and now they aren't. You know, they came out one moment saying Trask is our guy, then a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever amount of time it was, they're like, okay, if a veteran beats him out, so be it. It's like, well, what? Wait. And then now they signed Baker to, this right here. Mayfield is now in line to be Tom Brady's successor. So according to Schefter, he's starting. I think it's probably going to be a competition. Honestly, I don't know. I think Schefter's jumping the gun a little bit. Schefter's a little off today because he got his somebody stepped in his lane and announced the Aaron Rodgers news. He's a pedestrian and a viewer of the news world right now, so he's a little off his game, but I don't know. I don't think Baker succeeds in Tampa to any like great degree, but like he does have Godwin, he does have Mike Evans. These are two pretty good wide receivers. It is kind of funny. We rarely talk about the Tampa Bay wide receiver impact and the concern we have for the quarterbacking going on there in Tampa when there's two wide receivers affected, but they're not wide receivers that are really on my radar. Godwin's ADP right now on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. Get your underdog on. The link is in the description of every video. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. and we'll draft at night. We'll get back to the midnight drafting on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's just this breaking news has been crazy. That Montgomery show brought us straight into almost midnight, so I couldn't do it again last night. But I went live for 6.5 hours yesterday, so there's on like 4 or 5 different live streams combined. But I think I don't know. I think Baker's okay. I think that those wide receivers will be fed okay, but I'm just not that concerned about him. I don't know why. I'm not into drafting. But I was saying Godwin's ADP is really late. Evans' ADP is really late. You can make Evans your wide receiver 2 in a very late wide receiver 2 build, and I think that's good value. I like Mike Evans a little bit, but at the same time, it's like I'm not that concerned about him. I'm not thinking that they're going to be necessarily wide receiver 1s in fantasy. Does anybody think here's a comment here from Cage, who I believe this is the Niner guy that always talks about Jimmy G, I think. Cage says Bijan a Cowboy. It's possible. But do I think Bijan falls? I don't. Is it possible Bijan falls? I think it is. 26 is very far though. I think he's a potential top 12 overall player, and that's not like a stretch. It just comes down to whether each team that needs him passes on him for another player, and then all of a sudden he gets into this stretch of picks where nobody needs an RB. But Baltimore's not going to pass on him. The Chargers aren't going to pass on him. Eckler could be on the move anyway, so I don't think he makes it. Dallas would have to trade up, I think. But would they take him if Zeke's gone? I'm afraid of that, and that's why I want everybody to put out good vibes that Zeke Elliott, in fact, stays and he doesn't get released like they're projecting him to get released. I'm hoping he has a change of heart and wants to get a pay cut to stay on the team because he knows that a pay cut's still going to pay him more than going somewhere else and trying to get a new deal somewhere else. So a washed out, shell of himself, Zeke Elliott is a much better opportunity for Pollard to stay in the role we expect him to stay in, or we want him to stay in. I don't want them to. I don't want. What?
I must have misread that then. I thought they cut Zeke.
No, they can't cut him till June 1. So there's still an opportunity.
Okay.
There's still an opportunity that he changes his mind and wants to take a pay cut or something. The report was framed like, hey, we want to respect Zeke and not ask him to take a pay cut. So we're going to let him go get a deal somewhere. But if he comes in and goes, I want to take a pay cut, I could see them keeping him. But we'll have to see. Right now they're planning, they're floating out that they're going to release him. So we'll see if either side changes their mind or whatever. But Bijan, a Cowboy, I'm afraid Jerry Jones wants it, sure. And I don't want a Pollard Bijan situation. I don't want that for Bijan either. I don't want Pollard sitting there vulturing wide receiver work. So I don't want that. But I will say I firmly believe, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, I firmly believe that Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, and Nick Chubb maybe not in that order. Eckler and Henry are both very likely to get moved right now. So I don't even know which one's more likely to get moved. But Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb being the least likely to get moved. 1 or 2 of these guys are going to be on the Buffalo Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Philadelphia Eagles, or potentially the what was the other team I keep saying? Bengals, Bills, Eagles, and I'm blanking on the other team. My brain's fried. But I believe we could see Henry in Buffalo or Eckler. Oh, Chicago. Chicago may draft Bijan Robinson at 9 overall, but Chicago may also be smart and say, hey, you know what? Let's use number 9 on Jackson Smith and Jigba, or let's use number 9 on a defensive player that might fall due to, whatever news or hype or whatever. So if the Bears are...
What's the chance?
What's up, Bruce?
I was going to say, what's the possibility, do you think, of the Cincinnati Bengals jumping up in front of the teams and drafting Bijan?
They could. They could also really, really badly want to get rid of Eckler and just hope Bijan falls to that pick. But Eckler has requested to speak to teams about a trade. So Eckler's already in talks with teams. So you could say that Derrick Henry feels like the most likely to get traded because the Titans aren't going to win. They need to get rid of Henry now. He's 29 years old. Eckler's 28. They're both old, but Henry's 29. So he's probably the more likely on the surface to get traded, but at the same time, Eckler's already in talks. And if the team granted him permission, they're doing one of two things. Trying to allow him to see that the market's not there for him, so he'll come back and be happy. Or two, they're really set on letting him go. And if they don't replace, if I was the Chargers, this is how I'd or I would make a big Super Bowl run. Because I know you're initially going to say, hey, Smitty, if they lose Eckler, they're garbage, which is true. Like, I don't see how Herbert could succeed if he lost Eckler and didn't replace him. But if the Chargers do this right here, if the Chargers, let's see here. If the Chargers, where's my NFL draft board? If they take Bijan Robinson at 21 overall, if they get so lucky and he falls, and they trade a second rounder for DeAndre Hopkins, you tell me that team didn't just get improved. If the Chargers have Hopkins and Bijan instead of Eckler, I'm fine with it. And they could even use the pick that they trade Eckler for, that they acquire when trading Eckler, or if they get two picks. Let's say they get two second rounders or something. I don't think they get a first rounder because he's an older running back. They get 2 second round picks. They use one of them to get Hopkins. So you get Hopkins, a second rounder, or Hopkins and a third rounder essentially for Eckler, and you draft Bijan Robinson, and all of a sudden the Chargers are on the map. But if they get rid of Eckler and they don't do the proper wide receiver acquisition or drafting, if they take Jackson Smith and Jigba, trade a second rounder for, I don't think they would go after an older running back, though. If they trade Eckler away, they're probably not trading for a Henry or Cook. So it doesn't really make sense. But if it was me, and I could replace Eckler with Bijan, and I could trade for Hopkins, bro, Herbert to the moon. So I don't know, but my gut tells me that Henry and Eckler and Cook, 2 of those 3, maybe Chubb, but the Browns have more of a reason to think they can win this year. Not that they will, but that they think they can. But Eckler, Henry, and Cook, at least one, maybe 2 of those guys will be in Cincy, Buffalo, Chicago, or Philly. That's my prediction. A little bit bold, but I think it's going to happen. I think Eckler looking for a team right now makes him very likely to be traded. Frank says the show's addicting. Appreciate that, Frank. D-Hop is old, though. I love him, but worried. Fantasy Dad, not for a year, though. You'll be okay. Hey, I got to go. I got to go here in a second. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Cincinnati for Eckler. Eckler to Cincinnati, and I think Cincinnati has to use their draft pick on defense since they lost their 2 big safeties.
Yeah. Eckler in Cincinnati, or it's going to be, Henry in Cincinnati's doable. I don't know if it makes as much sense as Henry to Buffalo. My thinking is that it's Eckler, Cincy, Henry, Buffalo. And, we've pretty much said that for the last couple of weeks, but Cook's now kind of involved, so there's a potential that Cook could come in as one of those players instead. But we'll see. The compensation still has to get worked out on all that stuff, but we'll have to see. But it does feel like Eckler and Henry are both going to get moved. Like there's a real strong chance because, number one, Eckler being granted permission to seek a trade and him being unhappy usually means the player gets traded, especially when they're older. So Eckler being gone is a high likelihood. And Cincy just makes sense. And Buffalo makes sense. Even for Eckler, Buffalo makes sense because they could throw to him. But Henry is even more of a reason, more of a player that I think is just as good as gone because, he's 29 years old and Buffalo needs to do something to get an edge over KC. So that's my gut here. Charles, you got 10 seconds. Final thoughts.
Eckler to Seattle.
Oh, God.
No, I don't have. I was just maybe because Seattle needs something because pending stresses me, but I don't have anything. It was good.
Charles, I'm not gonna blast you. I'm kidding in terms of being mad at you, but like we don't want that for Kenny Walker, bro. We can't. Kenny Walker would you're scaring everybody, Charles. You gave everybody a little mini heart attack in the live stream right now.
I apologize.
It's okay.
No, I don't have anything.
Charles,
Charles,
call back anytime. It's
rewatch your last night live stream.
Please watch the last like half hour. You're gonna absolutely lose it. But Charles, the pleasure is all on this side of the table. We'll see you later, pal. Call in anytime. Maybe don't bring that other topic back up again. The chat's gonna pass out. All right, appreciate you, Charles. Thank you.
Hey.
Oh, I hung up on him right then. Sorry, Charles. Charles, you can call back again real quick if you want. Bruce, 10 seconds, go.
I wish I was Aaron Rodgers because I would have told Adam Schefter to shove it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
Good old Aaron. Oh, yeah. And he might do that to the fans, too, because you're laid back, but you come after him like that.
Yeah.
You know, even the fans, you might do that, too.
I love that he told Schefter to lose his number. That's fantastic. I hope that was real too. I hope that wasn't just like joking around and then Schefter's like trying to repair the late relationship, so he puts it out there. It probably is a joke. He probably said it, but he's probably joking when he said it, and Schefter showed it, and they're both joking. Or if Schefter's really been out of shape, that'd be even better. I don't really know. Drafting tonight, maybe I might try and make up for not drafting last night, but maybe. We'll see. Ron, what'd you say?
No, it was real because I know you stopped watching the interview on McAfee at some point so you could continue with the show and stuff. But Aaron Rodgers did say, because McAfee said, this is what Scheffler just put out, verifying your story that you told him to lose his number. And Aaron said, if he wants to share my tweet, I got a tweet prior to that I can share out there.
I love it. I love it, bro.
There's no drama between them.
I love it. Look, Schefter's losing his edge. Ian Rappaport's losing his edge. Look, this is similar to the record labels and TV networks that were the gatekeepers of, if you wanted a TV show, you needed to be on a network. You couldn't create something that got bought by Netflix. You couldn't do some YouTube show. We've got a potential episode 5 brewing. Help me get back on track if I forget what I'm saying, but I got to show this real quick. I've got this right here. I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram, but I put it up on my Instagram. This is a teaser for episode 5 of the Fantasy Football Intern, which is my little sitcom. And my whole point was that you can do whatever you want in today's world. And I'll get to that. I'll finish my point in a second. But this is the Fantasy Football Intern.
Entire mass situation on my shoulders. So basically, the fate of the Fantasy Football Show now rests on my shoulders on whether I can ink this mass deal to save the company. So I'll be flying down to Mexico first thing tomorrow morning. I've got a huge deal on a lot of expired masks. It'll still work. It's going to be amazing. So hopefully we can ink this deal tomorrow in Mexico, and I'll report back on how it goes.
So basically, the episode 5 of the sitcom, the Fantasy Football Intern's back. These kind of things you can't do, and I'm not saying this is a big show. We're trying to make it a big show. We're trying to get this picked up by something. That'd be great if it was on some, or even Roku, or whatever. But I want to make this a 10 episode a year show. I really do. And if you haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube homepage. Scroll about halfway down. There's 4 episodes, the Fantasy Football Intern. But what I was trying to say is that the gatekeepers of news, they used to stand in the way. You couldn't even report on anything. You couldn't be a top reporter. You couldn't be like our YouTube show here. My goal, and part of this intern show is that there's a joke at the beginning of me taking over ESPN and being bigger than ESPN. And like Ron said, when he first saw it, he wasn't sure if I was serious, not serious. And while it's a joke, I truly, my goal is to have this channel have more subscribers than any of those. You know, like I think the sky's the limit for this channel, especially the way we cover news. We aren't just fantasy. I think sometimes we get put in a box that's called the Fantasy Football Show, and that might turn off a potential user that might say, hey, this is an NFL show. I mean, we could corral in a whole lot more people if we were just an NFL show. But I think as people learn that we cover NFL and fantasy both, that we could be, you know, we could be monstrous. But there's no gatekeepers anymore. You could go on TikTok and you can have your song blow up, and you don't need a label to make you big. There's no gatekeepers for news breaking, for shows, for music. And Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, this is my point circling back, have lost their grip on and control over the news world. And it's so funny to watch other shows, you know, the Pat McAfee show, break the biggest news we've had in, what, a decade? Or half of a decade, whatever. Yeah, ESPN, that's never going to work. What is an ESPN anyway, says Joe. Look, we're going to be bigger than ESPN. This YouTube channel will have more subscribers than the ESPN YouTube channel. Mark my words, we're getting there. It's just going to take time. And on that note, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're doing it live. Frank says he's addicted. All right, Frank, appreciate you. Okay, Bruce, 10 seconds, go.
Like I said, I just support Aaron Rodgers. I hope the other tweet comes out so, you know, we know what it is.
All right, appreciate you, Bruce. Charles, yeah, call back later today, Bruce. We're going to go live again, okay? There'll be more breaking news. Appreciate you. Charles, you called back again. I'm sorry I hung up on you. What were you going to say?
Hey, so you posted something on IG a while back about a steak sandwich spot. Did you find that yet?
Steak sandwich. There is a place I go to already that I like, but it's, you know, it's a gourmet steak sandwich place, so it's like it's expensive to go there like all the time.
Okay.
No, I haven't found a place. There was a place called Off the Grill, I think, that used to have a steak sandwich. It was like $10, $9. I'd get it like every other day. It had cheese on it. It was, you know, just a nice piece of steak. I can't find it. All I find are Philly cheesesteaks. I don't like Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. I want a steak sandwich. And nobody's given me a location in Arizona where they have steak sandwiches. You know, that's not like a gourmet restaurant. Like the one I go to is like an open-faced steak sandwich, and I love it. I get it all the time, but I need a new steak sandwich place, and I can't find them anywhere. There was Habit. The Habit has them, but it's kind of like, it's an okay piece of meat. It almost feels like a burger. So that's the only place I've come close to finding one. If anybody has a recommendation, let me know.
I would go to Firebird.
Firebird?
They have a good steak sandwich. Yeah.
Firebird?
Yes, Firebird.
Is that in Arizona, though?
Yeah, it's in Arizona. There's one in Gilbert and one in Chandler, but I would recommend it.
Firebird, huh?
Yeah.
Is it is it like a hamburger or steak place?
No, it's a restaurant.
Okay, I'll look it up. Firebird.
Okay.
All right.
Chandler, you love making that trip.
Yeah.
Jollibee.
Yeah, Jollibee. Yeah, if anybody else has a suggestion, let me know. All right, I appreciate you there, Charles. Right. Call back to later today. We'll be live again.
Okay.
Ron Navy, final thoughts.
Yeah, I got aircraft flying over, so they're going back to the base. So let
All right,
freedom
Ron.
ring.
All right, Ron. Call back in later. Okay, we got Racing Boy with a $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Smitty to the moon. Hey, you to the moon, pal. Appreciate you very much, Racing Boy. Thank you all for dropping a super chat. Those of you that dropped them, they help keep the lights on. The test says, will you trade Fields and Ramondre for Saquon, Trey Lance, and Howell? I'd rather have Fields and Ramondre, especially if it's super flex. But and then in Smitty, would you trade T-Law for Garrett Wilson in a dynasty super flex? It would depend on your quarterbacks, but in theory, T-Law is going to go higher than Garrett Wilson in a super flex, but if I was good at quarterback, I could do that move because I love Garrett Wilson that much. I will see you all later. I'll be live anytime there's huge breaking news. The Baker Mayfield thing I didn't go live on, not the biggest news in the world, but like monster news, we go live. I'm live Monday through Friday, every single Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so I'll see you guys at 7 p.m. no matter what. But I'm also live whenever news breaks. On call, I work for you. This isn't a 20-hour-a-day show. This is a on-call 24/7, 365 show. So if news breaks at midnight, I go live. If news breaks in the morning, I go live. I get my bathrobe on and I come into the studio and I go live. That's how we roll. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later today because I'm sure news will break again later. Ron Navy dropping a wad on screen. Where's my... Hold on, Ron. We got to fill her up. We got to fill her up, Ron. We're low on bills here. This sucker right here shoots out 30 bills per second. We had my brother, an industrial design major, a creative genius, a savant of building. This man, this brother of mine, Smitty 1. I guess I'm Smitty number 2, essentially. Older brother. Here it is. This is him. Doing it. Making it work. 30 bills a sec. I just shot out 15 bills. They scream out of there. They scream out of there. Ron Navy dropping the super. So Smitty keeps the lights on with breaking news. Appreciate you, Ron Navy, for the super chat. See you all a little later because news will break. I almost assure you.